Kaptırıyor topu. Ali Tanrı doğru çok süratli. Ali orta yapacak. Sert orta. Sert orta.
Welcome everyone back to another Maestro game production. Welcome back to beautiful Bursa, and of course we have a game today against Bursaspor. But before we hop into that, we have one game to catch up on, and we have youth intake day. So we're going to have a little look at our youth recruitment, see who is coming through our doors, and without further ado, let's hop into Football Manager and crack on with today's episode. Okay everyone, so because there's one game, we are of course watching key highlights of today's game from between episodes against Yeni Malatyaspor, I believe it's pronounced. I've probably completely butchered that, but I'm going to blame that on the temporary filling that I've got in my mouth. So if you hear me a little bit more lispy than usual, then you understand why. It's because I've got a bit shoved right at the top of my teeth. So we have these highlights, and as you can see, Recap plays it back to Aguzu. We had a really terrible game in this rainy day. It was just awful, as you can see. 3-0 loss. Both of our wing backs were just absolutely useless. We then have Ortega, who just ran rampant. He got this opening goal. He then banged in a couple more, I believe. He at least gets a brace. He might get a hat-trick. I'm not quite sure. Even I need to remember that one. But Emrehan collects this, plays it back to Aguzen. Now plays it over to Sedat. Sedat gets it over to Recap. Recap doesn't do anything on this right-hand side. Holds the ball up quite nicely, but unfortunately doesn't do a whole lot when he gets it to Regatsu. His shot is blocked. Now, Aguzam throws it in straight to Oblor, who just passes it straight back to them. It's then played over to Lukoiki. Gets it to Hafez. Hafez plays it back to Fofana. Fofana holds up the ball nicely for Adem, who plays it to Ortega, who smashes it into the bottom left corner. At this point, we was pushing on. We was trying to get a goal back. Unfortunately, we went 2-0 down. We had to go all out attack. Well, that's what led to the third goal. They went and had a throw-in here for Fofana. I believe this might be the goal, in fact. Plays it to Ortega, who plays it back to Fofana. Cuts inside. No, it's not. The shot goes wide. They then get a throw-in near the opposite side this time. Ortega plays it into Lukoiki. I'm not going to try and pronounce that guy's name. Hafez has the ball, plays it in, and another shot goes wide. They had a few opportunities to score, but unfortunate for them, they didn't. We then have Sinan whipping it in. It's punched away. Fofana on the counter-attack, and this is, I believe, the goal. No, it's not. I'm proven wrong yet again. I'm not even going to say it at this point. They then have a free kick. Whipped in, back post. That was the goal. That was the goal. I was too distracted by some other things, which we'll talk about after this game. We have a little bit of news with the team. So, Kubilay plays it up to Oslu. Oslu plays it back to Kubilay once more. Then Ozcan. Oslu and Kubilay making nice triangles here. Now, this is where I thought we might have pulled a goal back. Diarra gets it over to Emrehan, now over to the right-hand side, where Musin will hold up the ball nicely. It gets back to him after a terrible cross, gets it into Sinan. Unfortunately, though, after a VAR decision, Sinan's goal is eventually disallowed. So, 3-0 in the end. Can the ref hurry up with this VAR decision? We know the result of it. We've seen that we lose 3-0. Come on, ref. Hurry it along. Let us crack on. We want to get on with this episode. So, Herrera, last minute, hoofs it up. I believe that's the final kick of the game. Ball goes out. And we should be into the match statistics. Or we're going to watch pointless throwing. Who knows? Akbas throws it in. Musin kicks it away. It's done with Zuki. Now Aquin gets up to Adem. Adem now tries the ball over to the right-hand side, where Zeki will keep possession in. Whips it in, and Atbeck collects. Very pointless highlight. Don't know why it made us watch it, but it did. So, in the end, they had 12 shots, we had 12. 5 on target, we had 5. Unfortunately, we just wasn't clinical with our shots. They had 1.02 XG to our 1.25. 5 corners to our 3. 18 fouls to our 16. 1 yellow card to our 0. 81% passing to our 89. 40% possession even to our 60. So, we was in the game. Unfortunately, though, we just didn't do anything when we had the ball. So, as you can see, both their centre-backs did well, goalkeeper did well, most of their team did well. Ortega, standout performance in that one. Now, our right back, terrible. Left back, terrible. Centre-back who was nagging to play, didn't play great. Goalkeeper who was nagging to play, played terrible. Ozcan, terrible game. Emraham played alright. Sinan had a bad game. Rigatsu, again, struggling. Eren, bad game. Recap, bad game. There wasn't a whole lot of positives in that starting lineup. As you can see, Musin came on, did a good job, so he is coming back into the lineup. In fact, we're going back to our original back line. Kubalay is coming back in for Sadat. Yildirim is coming back in here. We've got Manfredini coming back in goal. We're just going to say, screw these players who want to play, because they're not doing anything when we actually give them game time. Now, Uslu, he, I believe, is going to be out of the next game through injury. He wasn't going to come on anyway, but that's some depth we're going to be lacking on the bench. We then have Diarra, who had a terrible game also. So let's go have a look at our youth recruitment. Okay, so as you can see, the next topic is youth intake. We're just going to quickly acknowledge that George Saville is a decent player, and that if we could pull out his wage from nowhere, we'd probably sign him up with his 4.5 star potential, because he's a decent player. So we're going to acknowledge him, and we are going to Bursaspor announce new intake of youth players. Now, I'm not going to make you sit through me doing the individual contracts, because I like to do individual contracts, get them on lengthier ones than what my assistant otherwise would, and reject the players who we basically don't need. So, I'll do that between this and the game, so we'll have a little split in there, but for now, let's have a little look at the youth recruitment. So, our youth intake. Well, we have a solid right attacking mid, by the looks of it. We've got a defensive mid who's good. Both of those actually have decent ability to start with as well. We then have a winger. I'm not sure if he's more left or right. It'd be nice if he's more of a lefty than a right. We then have this guy who's definitely a lefty, so both of our wings are looking much nicer. Another central midfielder. It's a shame we don't have any right backs. Now, we have this guy who's a right back. He's not as good for his potential. Probably never going to play for us, this guy. He's 1 star. Does have a bit of chance to develop, but I don't think he'll develop quickly enough or high enough for us to actually use. So all of these aren't much use to us, really. We'll put them in the youth team, let them develop, probably there to sell on. We then have this guy and below, who we're just getting rid of. Anyone who's this low on development potential, we just don't want them. So we'll take everyone above. So I'm going to sign Emery, what's that? Yes, Amir Guvenk. I probably completely butchered that, but him and every person above him, I'm going to go and sign now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players going into our youth recruitment. Let's have a little look at them though. Let's have a look at these top 3 main prospects. So first of all, we have Halit Sisek. Halit Sisek. Ooh. Now, he is looking good as an advanced playmaker. We're going to use him as a winger though. So how would you be as a winger? Well, he's good in all departments. He's off the ball. That's going to need some work going forward, but that's not too bad. How about attacking? He's good at that too. Very good at that, in fact. He is a nice winger. He is going to develop very nicely. And I have an itchy nose. I apologise for that. So, he is a good, solid youth player to go through our development. We then have our central midfielder. He is... We're going to need you to be a ball winning or be a playmaker. You're probably more on the ball winning by the looks of this. If I look at your playmaking... You know what? If we can teach you off the ball, you could be a playmaker. I think ball winning is probably his role going forward. Probably not going to make it past the people we've got though. We've got a couple of decent ball winning midfielders, so he's probably going to go out on loan and stay out on loan for probably the whole length of the time we'll play this. Although, who knows? Maybe he'll worm his way in somehow. He might impress and get into the team. We have Setin then, the other winger. Unfortunately, he's on the right hand side as well. He can't dribble. He doesn't have anticipation. That's a little bit disappointing. How are you as a support? Well, off the ball sucks, work rate sucks. He has physicals, he doesn't have the mentals, nor does he have the technical ability. So, he's overrated. He's probably going to be 3.5 star. He's a little bit overrated on the ratings he's got. I want to have a little look at this Saka guy though. Saka guy is aggressive. He's got the aggression we like. Now, how are you as a wing back on support? Well, he can surprisingly do that quite well. His pace is lacking a little bit. He might actually be nearer to the 4-star than the 3-star, in which case he could actually make a push for our team, especially considering our wing back issues. But that's the main players from our youth recruitment. If you're interested in any particular ones, you know what? I'll quickly click through the ones we're going to sign up. So we've got Emery, that's him. I'm not going to go through these specifically. Feel free to pause it if you are interested in any of these individual players. I'm, like I said, not too fussed. Now this guy, I will have a little look on the simple fact that we do need a left back. And he, besides his off the ball, might be alright as a backup. Because he doesn't have that off the ball though, I'm probably not going to risk it. We then have the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper looks quite solid, although he is blind as a bat. We then have, we've had a look at the right back, Asil. This guy can't cross, not very good for a winger. Everything else is good. Just unfortunately, he cannot cross. He'll have to play as an inside forward most likely if we use him. And then of course the 3 that we've had a little look at. So we have this report for the upcoming game. They are of course favourites for it, especially considering our recent form. Mehmet showing pleasing progress, that's nice to see. But we are going to quickly go into the tactical screen. I'm going to show you our issue with some injuries. Now this is only a day before the game, so we shouldn't have any more injuries going into the game. But as you can see, we're missing Uslu through injury. Our Cock has an injury. We've injured our Cock, ladies and gents. And Seda is also out with an injury. Now, Seda, he is out with... What are you out with, in fact? I'm not 100% sure. A virus for 3 days. We then have our Cock. Now, our Cock, we managed to twist it. Okay, we've got a twisted ankle. But we've twisted our Cock. We have a virus in our Seda. And our Uslu, I believe, has a cold. Yes, he's got a cold. So those 3 are going to miss the upcoming game through various reasons. So we are going to bring you in probably as our backup left back. Sadat and Cock. We don't really have suitable replacements. Akgun, I don't like him, but he's going to have to come onto the bench. And Koz is probably going to have to come onto the bench. You know what? We'll put them just at the bottom. Because I begrudge having them on the bench, but we need them on the bench. And I've just moved the wrong one, haven't I? Because I'm a little silly. But I'll see you fine folks when we get to the team sheet in just a second. Okay everyone, match day is upon us. As you can see, the team sheet hasn't changed from when we last looked at it. So we're going to hop straight into the game, get cracking on with today's match. Feel free to pause it if you're interested in looking, of course, through our team or their team, or even some of the social media stuff. I'm not particularly interested in the social media stuff. I'm interested in trying to get a victory here today. So we are going hands on hips. Get out there and show the world you've got what it takes. That is not a bad shout, but we'll have to take our hands off our hips. Go out there and enjoy yourself today. He is nervous. Interesting. And you are motivated. You should be nervous. You keep nagging me for a new contract and then you're not playing very well. So, point finger. Get out there and show the world you've got what it takes. That's worked with quite a few of them. Unfortunately, he's still nervous, but these 3 are motivated. These 2 are also motivated. Recap and Ozcan. Could do with Ragazzu being motivated, but we can't have it all our own way. Now, both teams come into this in a into a poor spell of form. I just somehow managed to merge paw and form. So spore. Or spell and paw, I guess. Anyways, we come into this in a spell of poor form. Therefore, it's a good opportunity to step up and arrest your recent struggles. It is for both sides. We need to be up for the challenge though. Erenglia takes the captain's armband. He's a natural choice even though he's only 19 years of age. So, as you can see, 4-2-3-1 as usual. Our recent form, struggling terribly. They are on the upswing of their terrible form. Also going for a 4-2-3-1. Babacar way up on his own. They're going for the lone striker also. So, as you can see, we're down in 13th, struggling. We have a couple of games in hand over Ankaraspor, and we have one over most of the league. So, it's not too bad. They are, of course, hovering just above the relegation zone. So, that's nice to see. Musin, though, will throw it in nice and early. 3 minutes in. This will be a lovely time to get a goal. Ozcan gets it over to Omar. Omar coming down this left-hand side. Can he get a nice crossing? Come on, Omar. You want a new contract, Omar? At least show us you deserve one. Kuble gets it to Ozcan. Now to Omar. Back to Ozcan once more. Sinan even. To Emrehan. Ragatsu holds the ball nicely. Emrehan gets over to Recap. We've got an overlapping Musin. If we can get it to him, we do. Ragatsu. Ragatsu, get your shots on target, my friend. I know you're 30 years of age. I know you're here on loan. I know we're not bringing you back. Ever. Even if you're offered on a freebie, we're not bringing you back. You suck. But please, just start getting your shots back on target. When we signed you up, you was decent. Right now, though, you're miserably pathetic. Absolutely miserably pathetic. I am going to demand more. Although a lot of the players are doing well, it's irritating that we haven't got outgoing. And that's worked quite well with the lads. That's nice to see. We do need to have a look at Kuble and Obilor, though. They are both struggling in today's game. Definitely Kuble. Kuble's on a 6.3 right now. So probably take him off at half time. He's now on a 6.2. That is scary. That's scary territory when you're down on a 6.2. But we go into half-time 0-0. Now, we have weirdly been the better of the two teams. We've had 6 shots, they've had 3. 2 on target to their 1. 0.37 XG to their 0.27. 4 corners to 2 corners. 4 fouls to 8 fouls. 2 yellow cards, 0 yellow cards. 88% passing to their 86. And 50-50 on the possession. As you can see, Yildirim and Kuble both have yellow cards. I do believe that means he's on a suspension for the next game, sadly. And, well, he's not playing great either. So, he's definitely going off during half-time. So, we are going to tell the lads, you know what, where's our passionate? I want to encourage them with a little punch of the air. We've been the better team, just keep doing what No. Go out there and give these fans their money's worth. He's still nervous. That hasn't done anything. My assistants let us down a little bit there. But we are going to go for a tactical tweak. Of course, like I said, Kuble is going to go off, so we shall bring on Sadat. We then have the other yellow card to deal with. Do we take him off? Or do we take Erdogan off? Erdogan's been having a rough game. You know what? Triple sub. Triple halftime sub. We've got 2 more to work with in the rest of the half. If other players are struggling, we can take them off. Unfortunately, I don't think we've got any options for Aaron. So that's a little bit of an issue. But triple sub. Let's see if that can freshen our team up just enough to get ours into the lead. So, they've got possession, ball through to Babacar, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Please tell me he's offside. That is going to be a terrible way to concede 2 minutes into the second half if he's not. Route 1. And he wasn't offside. He wasn't offside at all. Look at this. Made a lovely run. Sadat lets him go. Manfredini should have done a lot better in that situation. And now we have to fight from behind. So we are going to swap it up to an attacking mentality. In fact, we're going to go very attacking. We're at home. We won a victory. Let's do it. We're going to push for said victory in this second half. We are going to tell the lads that they are doing a terrible job, because conceding that early into the half is a terrible job. Omar is on a 6.6. They're saying take off Mehmet for Diarra. I don't think so. We're going to throw it in. Sinan now gives the ball straight back to them. We really need to do better with these balls. Just stop smashing it about. Just hold possession nicely. This is awful football. Really awful football. And we're getting beat by this whole route 1 over the top of our defence, which is not nice to see. Anyway, Manfredini. Can we build from the back? It's Agatsu, we are going to make substitutions. It is that time of the game, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to see who is struggling the most. Who is having an awful game? Erin's having an awful game. Great. Great, Erin. Great, great, great. Recap, you are doing bad as well. Rigatsu, Erin. Now we could solve Erin by sliding him up. You know what? We need it. Recap, you're going off. We're going to go triple striker. We're going to give Erin the... Erin, what role would you like to be? Advance forward or a deep lying forward? We're going to put you as an advance. In fact, no. You go advanced. You go deep lying on support. You go target man because you like to be a target man. Put him on support. Try and play up through the middle. We then have some other players struggling now. Struggling for fitness. Not particularly. They're just struggling on form. So, Gullier, we've pushed him up. Omar's having a terrible game. So, Omar, you are coming off. Ahmet, we really need to tighten up that defense going forward. Unfortunately, we are currently slowly sliding towards that relegation zone with this terrible defense. And we need to get some motivation into these players. So, demand more, especially from our right back. As you can see, our right back's also on a 6.6. Volkan is on a 6.4. We took our playmaker off, and then the replacement playmaker also having a bad game. So, probably need to look at strengthening that playmaker role at some point. It's a very vital part of this 4-2-3-1 setup, of course. We try to play it from our playmaker upfield, and well, the two vital aspects aren't doing anything. Goalkeeper is also letting us down right now as well. So, Babacar gets them a second. Do we just settle for reducing the loss? Do we limit our loss? I think we don't. I think we keep going. Hopefully we can pull one back here and we can go for a second. Back post. Come on, Erin. You've got to get that on target. Very disappointing form right now. Very disappointing indeed. So, Emirakan gets it over to Fkan. Fkan gets dispossessed. Good job by Sinan. Erin, can he do anything with it? Lovely ball through to Sinan. Come on, Sinan. Everything up till the end. Everything up till that last moment. We just can't seem to put the ball in the net recently, and it's really frustrating to deal with. Ozkan gets it to Sinan. Sinan tries to whip one in, and it looks like we are cruising to a 2-0 bruising. And yep, we have. We cruised to a 2-0 bruising. I think we might need to switch up the formation. The lads are struggling very bad. Maybe go 2 up front. Not sure who we're going to swap out, but 2 up front might be the way to go. The way our wing backs are playing, I'm even tempted to go 3 at the back. We have some good centre backs. We could go with 3 at the back. We could bring in Saidat alongside Kubalay and Obalor and see how that goes. But that's something to deal with for a different time. As for now, we've had 8 shots to their 10. 3 on target to their 4. 0.81 XG to 1.7. 9 corners to 2. 8 fouls to 13. 2 yellow card to 1 yellow card. 88% passing to their 86. And 50-50 on the possession. I apologise. We have been absolutely awful in today's episode. Not just in this game, but also in the one between episodes. It's been terrible to deal with this team for the past, well, 2 or 3 episodes, quite frankly. We have just been trash. So, I'm far from pleased with that result. That is simple. Seems demotivated. You got a 6.5, Omar. What are you demotivated about? You had a bad game. Same with Ahmet Ozkan. Quite a few players, in fact. Recap had a bad one. Rigatsu, you was absolutely useless. He actually told me he was going to play better. Didn't. So, how disappointing is it that you didn't take full advantage not winning crucially? Of course, want to win every game. I'm extremely disappointed. We had the chances to control our own destiny for the rest of the season. But that advantage lies elsewhere now. Exactly. It has been some time since you last tasted victory. I think it's been some time since we last tasted a goal, to be honest. How are the team coping with this poor run of form? Not very good. Each means morale drops a little more, which makes the job much harder. It's always disappointing when things don't go to plan. but we have to retain a certain sense of perspective. It's not like, I mean, that's a bit of a dig, isn't it? I can see the players desperate to win, and they will work harder and harder until they get it. Bit of positivity. Can't get too down, because then the team will get really depressed and not do anything for games on end, even though they haven't done out for games on end. But you get my point. It will get much worse if we push them down anymore. Now, 13-point gap. That's nice to see. 27 games in. Of course, we've played 38 games in a season. So out of the last 11 games, we can give up 4 games. So we've got a 7-game bit of leeway in there. That's if they win every game, of course. So hopefully they drop some. Hopefully Endoy can get off his terrible form. We need to sort that striker issue out. I'm thinking we might stick with the same formation, but put Aaron up front. I'm going to tinker with tactics. I don't know how long we've got to tinker with tactics. 8 days before Besiktas. Great. So we don't have long to tinker with tactics, and it's going to get a lot worse because we've got Besiktas, Fenerbahce, and I think Cyberpunk is also between episodes. And then I'm bringing us back for a nice away trip to Galatasaray, which, as you can see, they're second in the league and trying to chase Fenerbahce. So that's not going to be a fun one either. But I thank you all for watching today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. I didn't enjoy it. It was very painful, as you can see from our form table right now. We're in a bit of a hole. We haven't, in fact, not scored. We haven't scored since the end of January, February, and currently middle of March, we've not scored a goal. That's the worrying sign. The fact that we conceded 2, 1, 0, 3, and 2, that's more down to the fact that we haven't scored and pressure's being piled on us as a result. But like I was saying, I thank you all for watching today's episode. I hope you all have a lovely night, and goodbye.